Bonjour, bonjour les amis. Adjectives, part 3 but group 2. Adjectives that describe, or as they say in the grammar books, modify nouns or pronouns. They have to agree with the noun they modify. Usually that means adding an E for feminine and an S for plural, which is what we looked at the last time. But as we know, this is not always the case. We are going to look at this is not always the case in group 2. Group 2 are adjectives that already end with an E. If your adjective already ends in the letter E, you do not need to add an extra one for feminine. But you will need an S when describing plural nouns, even though you will not be able to hear it. A great word meaning nice, great, cool is chouette. Chouette. It is informal language, but a very nice word. It's a chouette word. Chouette. It's actually the word for an owl. There are two words for owl, hibou and chouette. She seems really nice. To seem is to have the air of. Elle a l'air vraiment chouette. A neighbourhood is quartier. Remember, QU is a K sound. So whenever you see Q, replace it with a K for the right pronunciation. Quartier. Le quartier, un quartier. Yes, but even so, it's a cool neighbourhood. Oui, mais tout de même ou quand même, c'est un chouette quartier. You might also hear c'est un quartier chouette. We're going to talk more about the placement of adjectives another time. Most of the time they do come after, but not always. Their house in France is very cool. Leur maison en France est très chouette. There are some commonly used synonyms for very, très. Instead of saying très, you will often hear super. Here we've got a supermarket basket. So when you see the supermarket basket, say super instead of très. Hyper. We've got a hypermarket trolley. It's hyper big. Hyper. Drôlement. It's funnily. And the very funny one is vachement. All of these words commonly replace très in the spoken French language. Super, hyper, drôlement and vachement. This neighbourhood is very nice. We've got the supermarket basket, so we're looking for super. Ce quartier est super chouette. This neighbourhood is very nice. This time using the hyper. Ce quartier est hyper chouette. You cannot hear H in French ever. Hyper. This neighbourhood is very nice. It's funnily nice. Ce quartier est drôlement chouette. Drôlement. This neighbourhood is very nice, using our cow one. Ce quartier est vachement chouette. It's bullishly good. The word for clean is propre. Propre, clean and proper, propre. The beach is so clean, and the sea too. La plage est si propre. Et la mer aussi. La mer. Laundry or linen is linge. IN is an un sound. Linge. It's masculine. Le linge. Laundrette is a washery. Laverie. Laverie. All eurie words are feminine. La boulangerie. La pâtisserie. L'épicerie. La charcuterie. La boucherie. La laverie. The laundry is clean because I went to the laundrette. Le linge est propre parce que je suis allée à la laverie. What do you think this means? L'enfant est propre. It literally means the child is clean, but it's what people use when a child has been potty trained. L'enfant est propre. Dirty is sale. So we've had propre and the opposite is sale. Dirty Sally. Sale. All the same, our room is very dirty. Tout de même, notre chambre est très sale. Face is visage. Visage. It's masculine. Your face is all dirty. Addressing tu. Ton visage est tout sale. My hands are all dirty. They're feminine. Mes mains sont toutes sales because hands are feminine. Toutes. Shy or timid. Timide. Comedy French. Timide. We like this kind of French. Julien is shy. Julien est timide. In fact in French is en fait. 2 words. En fait. It's an exception because you hear the T at the end. En fait. Here we have Monsieur en fait with all his facts in his briefcase. En fait. In fact. Seb isn't shy at all. In fact, he's confident. And if you remember from the last lesson, to say someone is confident, you say they are sure of themselves. Seb n'est pas timide du tout. En fait, il est sûr de lui-même. Selfish is egoist, egotistical, egoist. Notice those 2 little dots over the I. That means those 2 dots tell you to say, pronounce all the letters. Egoist, usually OI is a WA sound, but as soon as you get those 2 dots over the I, it's saying, no, 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 say all the letters, pronounce all the letters, egoist. Many people pronounce this perfume incorrectly. They say année, année, but there's 2 dots over the I, which is telling you to pronounce all the letters. So the pronunciation of this perfume is Anaïs, Anaïs, and it's a girl's name. Anaïs is quite selfish. Anaïs est assez égoïste. A word that is used instead of chouette to say nice or friendly, they are interchangeable. Chouette, or you could say sympathique. There is no th sound th in French, it's a hard T. Sympathique. Luckily, it's often shortened to sympa. Sympa, sympathique, chouette. Interchangeable. He's not selfish at all. In fact, he's very nice. Il n'est pas égoïste du tout. En fait, il est vachement sympa. Empty is vide. If you think of a void, vide. The verb to empty is vider. If you need an oil change in France, you ask for une vidange. Bottle. I'm sure you know this word is bouteille. We have the Jean-Paul Gaultier bouteille there to help you remember that it's feminine. Une bouteille, la bouteille. Very feminine looking. The bottle is empty. La bouteille est vide. Bouteille. The word for jar is pot. P-O-T. Pot. The bigger mason jar, bocal. They're both masculine. Un pot, un bocal. The jars are empty. Les pots sont vides. Pot is also slang for a drink. Vous voulez boire un pot? You want to go for a little drink? Un pot, un verre, un coup. The mason jars are empty. Les bocaux sont vides. Nouns that end with al become au, aux in the plural. We have journal, newspaper, newspapers, journaux. Cheval, horse, horses, chevaux. Bocal, big mason jar, bocaux. A can or a tin is une boîte. It's also the word for a box, like a cardboard box. It's also the word for a nightclub. Je suis allé en boîte. I went to a nightclub. The tin is all empty. La boîte est toute vide. And to finish off our packaging, if you want a can, it's une canette, la canette. Bizarre, same word, French accent, comedy French, bizarre. Tree, arbre, arbre, it's masculine. Un arbre, l'arbre. Think arboreal. Wow, that tree is bizarre. Wow, cet arbre est bizarre. So even though arbre is masculine, because it starts with a vowel, we use cet, C-E-T spelling for this and that. Funny, strange, drôle, drôle. Wow, that tree is funny. Wow, cet arbre est drôle. The proper word for strange is étrange, étrange. Wow, that tree is strange. Wow, cet arbre est étrange. Many words beginning with ST become E-acute accent T in French. So we have strange, étrange in French, state, état. And the same goes for SC. We have SC becoming E-acute accent C. School, école. Screen, écran. And the same for SP, becoming ESP. Spain, Espagne. Space, espace. Fair, as in to be fair, is to be just in French. Juste, être juste. It's not fair. Ce n'est pas juste. In spoken French, the ne is often dropped. C'est pas juste. Exactly. It's not fair. So you can say exactement. ly words become more in French. Exactement. But the French often use this one instead of exactement. In fact, they use this more than exactement. Justement. Coming from juste. Justement. Ce n'est pas juste. A share is a part of something. Une part. It's feminine. They've had their fair share. Handbags. Ils ou elles ont eu handbags. Leur juste part. Treatment is traitement. There is no accent over that middle E, so it's mute. Traitement, traitement. It's masculine. Le traitement, un traitement. She hasn't had fair treatment. Elle n'a pas eu un juste traitement. Tax is impôt. IM is un. IN is un. UN is un. When they are followed by a consonant. Impôt is tax. Think of it as an imposition or an imposter. Impôt. He didn't pay his fair share of taxes. Il n'a pas payé sa juste part des impôts. Ill is malade. Malade. And I will be including a PDF of the song sung by a very famous singer in French. She was Italian actually, but she spent much of her career in France. She's called Dalida. Her stage name is Dalida, and she sings a very poignant song called Je suis malade. I am ill, broken-hearted. Monique is ill. Monique est malade. Who's ill? Qui est malade? Here's a little phrase to practice in your head several times to get used to it. If you want to say as something, you're going to stick in the adjective as ill as that. Si, adjective que ça. Practice the formula. Si, que ça. Si, que ça. Because it's going to come up in a minute. Si, que ça. Say it to yourself a few times. Si, que ça. Si, que ça. Ils ne sont pas si malades que ça. They're not as ill as that. We may say they're not as ill as all that. I'm not as ill as that. Je ne suis pas si malade que ça. Colloquially, malade means crazy. Are you mad or what? Are you crazy or what? Addressing to. Tu es malade ou quoi? Spoken fast. T'es malade ou quoi? Using vous. Are you mad or what? Vous êtes malade ou quoi? Difficult. Difficile. It's not as difficult as that. Did you practice? Ce n'est pas si difficile que ça. Si, que ça. Si, que ça. Easy, the opposite of difficult. Difficile is facile. Facile, to facilitate, to make easier. Facile. It's not as easy as that. Ce n'est pas si facile que ça. Simple. It's the same word but with a French accent. Here you've got that I-M sound. Simple. It's not as simple as that. Ce n'est pas si simple que ça. Weak is faible. Think feeble. Faible. Faible. I'm not as weak as that. Je ne suis pas si faible que ça. A weakness is feminine. Une faiblesse. J'ai une faiblesse pour le chocolat. Slang for ugly is mush. We had the proper word, which was lit and led in the last lesson. The one that's used a lot in spoken language is mush, meaning ugly or awful or bad. Mush. It's not as awful as that. Ce n'est pas si moche que ça. That's so awful. Ça, c'est si moche. It's so awful. C'est si moche. Notice you can say that or it's, and it's the same in French. C'est si moche. We are only adding on ça here for extra emphasis because we're learning spoken French. C'est si moche, ça c'est si moche. You can even add ça on the end instead. C'est si moche ça. It's like us saying, that's so awful that is. That's so awful that. Vegetable, légume, masculine. Think leguminous, legume, vegetable. Those vegetables are ugly. Ces légumes-là sont moches. You add on the la to differentiate from these vegetables. You only have to do that if it's not obvious. You don't have to add it on. To avoid is éviter. Think evade. Éviter. I'm going to avoid éviter. Waste. gaspillage, masculine. Gaspillage. Don't waste gas, don't waste peas, or you'll age. Gaspillage. Le supermarché Intermarché a décidé de vendre des légumes et des fruits moches pour éviter le gaspillage. So this was a campaign, and I think it's been done in a few countries. The supermarket, which is called Intermarché, has decided to sell légumes et fruits, vegetables and fruit, ugly vegetables and fruit, moche, to avoid waste, pour éviter le gaspillage. So, for example, they've put l'aubergine moche, ugly aubergine. À ce prix-là, elle pourrait être encore plus moche. At that price, she could be even uglier. Les fruits et les légumes moches, the ugly fruit and vegetables, sont aussi bons qu'ils sont moches, are as good as they are ugly. And then on the other side, moi moche et méchamment bon. Remember méchant, nasty? Talking like Tarzan. Me, ugly and nastily good. So we have wonky fruit and vegetables. They have ugly, moche. To say poor in French is pauvre. Sounds like poor, doesn't it? Pauvre. Before the noun, pauvre means unfortunate. After the noun, pauvre means you've got no means, you've got no money. My pauvre Julien. Mon pauvre Julien. My poor Monique. Ma pauvre Monique. I think he's taking this opportunity to look down her top. Her poor parents. Ses pauvres parents. Did you say parents? Parents. We're poor but happy. On est pauvre mais heureux, mais heureuse. Nous sommes pauvres mais heureux, mais heureuses. It's a poor neighborhood. C'est un quartier pauvre. It's a poor place. C'est un endroit pauvre. So a place is endroit. Or lieu. C'est un lieu pauvre. The word place does exist, but it means a place like a place on a train. C'est ma place. Or a square. La place de la Bastille. So when you want to say a place, somewhere, un endroit, or un lieu. You will have heard lieu before, but with an English accent. When you do some extra work, you may be given a day in lieu, but it comes from lieu. It means instead of. This is a substitution board. Instead of, in place of, au lieu de. Rich, riche. It's a rich neighbourhood. C'est un quartier riche. It's a rich place. C'est un endroit or lieu riche. Grave, as in serious, is grave. Grave. You can say sérieux, but they like grave. It's not serious. Ce n'est pas grave. Very common expression to say it doesn't matter. Ce n'est pas grave. And of course in spoken French they usually drop the ne. C'est pas grave. It doesn't matter. C'est pas grave. It's not as serious as that. Ce n'est pas si grave que ça. It's quite a serious situation. C'est une situation assez grave. All ION words are feminine. It's comedy French time. Comedy French just means you say the word that looks like the English word but with a French accent, which makes understanding a lot easier. Here we are looking at BLE cognates. A cognate means a word that looks the same and means the same. You just need to change your accent. You can see horrible, horrible, terrible, visible ou invisible, irrésistible or résistible, plausible, implausible, possible, impossible. Notice how IN or IM and also UN is un when it's followed by a consonant. If it's followed by a vowel, IN is now in, like inadmissible, admissible, susceptible, sensible. I've put FF after this one. FF means false friend. We should have the siren here because it's not a friend, it's not a cognate, because it looks like it means sensible, but it doesn't. Sensible means sensitive. Je suis sensible au soleil. I'm sensitive. The sun, can't look at it. Audible, inaudible. IN with the vowel is in. If it's a consonant, un. Misérable. Passable, impassable. Responsable. We are responsible, but the French are responsable. Accessible, inaccessible. Adorable. Acceptable, inacceptable. Formidable. We'll come back to formidable. Explicable, inexplicable. Séparable, inséparable. Regrettable. Slight spelling change. Capable, incapable. Probable, improbable. Préférable. Interminable. Évitable, inévitable. Réparable, irréparable. Repairable, irreparable. Présentable. Confortable, spelt with an N instead of an M. Imaginable, inimaginable. Pardonnable, impardonnable. Contrôlable, incontrôlable. Portable, impeccable. Used a lot, often shortened to impec. Brilliant, perfect, impec. There are some other BLE words in French that are obvious in English, but you can take a guess. These are not cognates because they don't look the same, but you may be able to decipher the meaning from the French you have learnt. Vendable. Vendre is to sell. Sellable, saleable, sellable, saleable? Not sure. Incroyable. Unbelievable, incredible. Sortable or insortable. Sortir means to go out. So if your husband is wearing something you don't approve of, you might say, oh, mais tu es insortable. You are untakeoutable. Méconnaissable. Reconnaître means to recognize, but méconnaissable means unrecognizable. Potable. Potable means drinkable, like drinking water. Eau potable, drinking water. Eau non potable, don't drink it. Coupable, from culpable, guilty. Mangeable, immangeable. Edible, inedible. The slang for manger is bouffer, bouffer, used a lot. It's informal way of saying to eat. Bouffable, imbouffable, edible, inedible. Gonflable, inflatable. Dégonflable, you can take the air out of it. Pensable, impensable. Penser, to think, thinkable, unthinkable. Oubliable, inoubliable. Forgettable, unforgettable. Renouvelable, renewable. Faisable, think faire. Doable. Décapotable. If you're taking the head off it, it's the word they use for a car without a roof. When you can take the roof down. J'ai un décapotable. I have a coupe car. Invraisemblable, from vrai. Untrue, it's untrue, it's unbelievable. Téléchargeable, downloadable. Minable. It's not a very nice one, this one. It means pathetic. Pathetic. And it's in the second song that I will be sending you with the translation, which is, you are one for me, formidable. And he mentions minable. In fact, he mentions a lot of our adjectives from today in the song. It's a very clever song. Tartinable. Une tartine means bread with something on it. Might be butter, might be jam. Une tartine. It means spreadable. Fiable. Not to be confused with faible, which is F-A-I. Fiable means reliable, trustworthy. Jetable. From jeter, which means to throw away. Disposable. Jetable. As I mentioned, you can listen to a fabulous song sung by Charles Aznavour, an amazing singer. Let's learn a bit about his life. Charles Aznavour, né Chanou Varinag Aznavourian, à Paris le 22 mai en 1924. So he was born with a different name in Paris the 22nd of May 1924. Il est mort en 2018. He died in 2018. Il est d'origine arménienne. Son père de la Géorgie et sa mère de la Turquie. His origins are Armenian, his father from Georgia and his mother from Turkey. Son père a ouvert un petit restaurant à Paris où il chantait pour les exilés d'Europe centrale. His father opened a little restaurant in Paris where he sang for the exiled people from Central Europe. Le restaurant a fait faillite, went bust. Alors sa mère, qui était comédienne, not a comedian, comédienne is an actress, a ouvert un café en face d'une école de musique et de théâtre où Charles était inscrit. So she opened a cafe opposite the School of Music and Theatre where Charles was enrolled. À l'âge de 9 ans, Charles a pris le nom de scène Aznavour et a débuté sa carrière de chanteur et de comédien. So at age 9, Charles took on the stage name Aznavour and started his career as a singer and un comédien. It's another false friend because it looks like a comedian but it means an actor. En 1946, il a été remarqué par la chanteuse Edith Piaf. Lui et le pianiste Pierre Roche ont accompagné Piaf dans une tournée en France et aux États-Unis en 1947 à 1948. So he was noticed by the singer Edith Piaf, and him and the pianist Pierre Roche went on tour with her in France and in the United States in 1947 and 48. Il a écrit sa première chanson en 1950 qui s'appelait J'ai bu. He wrote his first song in 1950 that was called I've Drunk. Aznavour, appelé le Frank Sinatra français, a chanté plus de 1200 chansons et a chanté en 8 langues. Il a vendu plus de 180 millions de disques. So Aznavour was called the French Frank Sinatra and sang more than 1,200 songs in 8 languages and sold more than 180 million records. Marié 3 fois, Charles Aznavour a eu 6 enfants. Married 3 times, he had 6 children. And now go and listen to the song For Me Formidable. I've included a PDF with the lyrics translated. He sings in English and French in this song, but he very cleverly mixes English and French together. He merges the two in a very clever way. He plays on words. So have a look. It's a wonderful song. It's uplifting. Also listen to the other song that's a bit more depressing but very beautiful called Je suis malade by Dalida. Et voilà les amis. Merci beaucoup. À la prochaine fois.